Good evening humans, Tyrannosaurusmoth here, and tonight we're taking a look at the Power Rangers Lightning Collection Mighty Morphin Yellow Ranger vs. Mighty Morphin Scorpina figures from Hasbro. This is a pretty cool versus pack because, you know, we're finally giving Aisha her due as the Yellow Ranger here in the Lightning Collection, and Scorpina is a fan favorite and a favorite of mine that is finally in figure form, and honestly it was worth the wait. So I'm just gonna say from the beginning that most of this review will focus on Scorpina just because we have gotten the Yellow Ranger before, and I will have the metallic Yellow Ranger figure review coming up in the next couple of weeks. So a lot of stuff's gonna apply there. So I might go a little bit more quickly when talking about the Yellow Ranger figure. I'm gonna be mainly focusing naturally on the differences between this release and the other two. So yeah, without further ado, we got a lot to talk about. So let's get right into this review. Let's do this. Jumping right off with aesthetics, I'm going to start off with Aisha, just because we've seen the Yellow Ranger before, and pretty much the exact same figure. The only real difference here is, let me get this into neutral, and so exact same sculpt, same paintwork and all that. However, when I have the original Yellow Ranger release here, you can see, at least hopefully this is coming across on camera, you get a little bit of a brighter yellow with this 2-pack release as opposed to the original release. This is a little bit more of a matte finish to the original, the Trini version, and so a little bit brighter, a little slightly lighter shade of yellow. And yeah, I mean, again, it's so sort of subtle, but not if you see it in person. So hopefully this comes across on camera once I'm editing. So yeah, so that's about it for Yellow Ranger. And then we get into Scorpina, and just, man, they really went all out here, and that I love to see. They've done a great job with villains in general in the Lightning Collection. Just a lot of original and great sculpt here, and yeah, just some interplay between mattes and glossies and metallics, and they really did Scorpina justice here. I just think, yeah, this is a great figure. This is, yeah, kind of potential top 10 material, honestly. I mean, and I just love the shade of silver they used here. Like, it looks really good. It looks realistic. And, you know, there's, you know, the gold's a nice shade. All the paint, very crisp. The likeness is great. And yeah, I mean, I just gotta say, Scorpina looks absolutely fantastic. And yeah, just really makes the 2-pack worth it, honestly. So yeah, that's aesthetics. When it comes to accessories, we're naturally getting a lot because this is a 2-pack, so we got 2 figures worth of accessories. We will be getting more with Yellow Ranger because no new sculpt there. There's a lot of new sculpt for Scorpina, so that is definitely understandable from a cost perspective. But jumping right into it, we're gonna start off. We got a fantastic likeness to actress Karen Ashley, who played Aisha, and I love the expression, and the sculpt and paint here are just fantastically done. Everything is super crisp. Like, could not ask for more there. Even though I don't use the civilian heads, I definitely appreciate them, like, taking the time and going into detail and giving it the love and care it deserves. So yeah. And then moving on, we get the 2 blasters. So we get one in gun mode, just a little bit of white paint, and then we get the blade mode with you know, the white and the silver paint. Nicely sculpted. I think we've only seen this one other time in Lightning Collection so far. Then we move on to hands, and right out of the box, of course, you get your gripping hands, the same ones that came with Trini. So their fingers are slightly spread apart, so they do work as posing or as gripping hands, which always works really well for me because I like options. And then we get a left chopping hand and a right claw pose hand, and I kind of wish they had switched these from the Trini release. That way we'd have 2 claw hands in order to do that signature pose, but it is what it is. It is just a little bit of a missed opportunity, if you ask me. And then we get the saber daggers, beautifully painted and sculpted, again, just as before. And then finally, same effects piece we got with Trini, except now in a really pleasant magenta shade. And I gotta say, I prefer this to just putting it in yellow. Gives a little bit more dynamics, definitely works a little bit better with the figure, even though we've seen these effects pieces a lot. So that's all the Yellow Ranger's accessories. Then moving on to Scorpina. Her effects piece is this electric piece that I think we originally got with Mighty Morphin Red Ranger, and just cast in this gorgeous purple. Really love the way this looks. Obviously I have an affinity for purple, so I'm a little biased. Then we move on to Scorpina's signature weapon, and the name of this escapes me at the moment, so I apologize for that, but really great details. That black wash just absolutely brings this to life. Again, just continues from the details of the figures. The figure just like beautifully done. Then hands, right out of the box, we get a right gripping hand with vertical hinge, and it's just super smooth, but more in that next section. And then we get the kind of splayed out left hand, which looks really good, painted very well. I mean, it's just the red on the gold, but works really well. Then we get a right fist for punching, and then a left gripping hand, which also has a vertical hinge. Gotta say, like, again, just more and more that I love that they threw into the details for Scorpina. So fantastic accessories. When it comes to articulation, I'm actually going to be focusing solely on Scorpina for this review, just because we have seen the Yellow Ranger before. It isn't any different from the original release or the other standard female buck Power Ranger Lightning Collection figures that we've seen so far. And not only that, but as I had stated earlier, when I get to metallic yellow, I'm going to be going over it again. So definitely watch out for that review as well. And without further stalling or explaining, let's get into the articulation for Scorpina. And naturally we have this hair here, so we're not really going to get any look up, unfortunately. But again, there's a lot of sculpt going on here, but we got some okay down, and not really any tilt, because again, there's not really a lot of room to play with there. So that is what it is. But I mean, again, you can get side to side. You're going to get more over this way because of the armor on the left arm. Speaking of which, we do have our butterfly joints, and thankfully this top armor piece is on a ring that goes around the inside of the arm, so that is going to move with you. You're going to be able to get that out of the way, and that brings us to our hinge and swivel at the arm, which will come up to about our T-pose, which is nice. And of course you can go all the way around. This is not going to hinder you at all. In terms of a swivel, it actually comes down to the elbow, where we are single hinged, or single jointed rather. So we're coming straight and then coming to about 90 degrees. That's where our swivel comes from. We have hinge and swivel wrists, and again, both the weapon holding hands have vertical hinges, and I am so happy about that. Then we move on to the diaphragm, and we have our ball joint, which is standard for the line, so we're getting all the way around there. And combined with the ab crunch here at the waist, which is super well hidden thanks to this sculpt. I actually had to double check to make sure it was there. We're getting about that far front. We're getting absolutely insane amount of back here. And so yeah, again, like I love it that how hidden that is. Then for the hips, we can see we got a lot of space there, and because of that, we're getting full splits. Absolutely fantastic. We do have thigh swivel, which is hidden by the armor on this side, not so much on this side, but still, like, again, really well done. And we are double jointed at our knees, so we're coming up to about there. And we do have boot swivel, I believe. Yep, and hidden by the top of the boots, so really well done. Congrats, Hasbro. Then we get our point. Woo, don't want to do that too much, but we get a ton of range there, even with the armor. We get some, not really any forward, but then we get that rocker, and yeah, so that's articulation. Getting into size comparisons, here they are with some other Lightning Collection figures, with some more Hasbro, with some imports, with some monsters, finally with an Articulated Icons Oni, and yours truly in human form as an Articulated Icons Ninja. So my final thoughts on the Yellow Ranger vs. Scorpina versus pack is that this is a fantastic 2-pack. Well, at first I was admittedly like kind of confused that we were getting another repack of the Yellow Ranger with all the additions and the improvement on the yellow color of the suit itself. That's just totally worth it. Not only that, but the Scorpina figure itself is just worth a lot for just all that new sculpt. and great paint that's been applied, and just the love and care that's been given to both of these figures in this context. So absolutely, if you are a Mighty Morphin Power Rangers fan, if you're a Zeo Ranger fan, and you just like tokusatsu and any of that, absolutely pick up this 2-pack. It's at all your favorite online retailers. I'm going to include links in the description below to mine so you can pick up yours. This will probably be hitting shelves within the next few months. So, you know, keep an eye out your local Targets and your Walmarts. And yeah, just definitely get this if you see it. So I hope you found this review informative and somewhat entertaining. And if you did, please consider liking, commenting, subscribing, and or sharing. And beyond that, if you want to take it a step further, I will have other ways to support the channel in the description as well. So please check those out. And yeah, I guess that being said, please take care of yourself, take care of those around you, and most importantly, stay weird, simians.